Now it's time for a 78 update for the month of June 5th, 2011. And this is going to be on nothing but my 78 collection for my update. I got plenty more too. And here's my story. I got these 78 records from a lady today that I know and I'm pretty much friends with, that we go to church with, and she said that our uncle had a bunch of old 78s like Glenn Miller and Tommy Dorsey, Jimmy Dorsey, etc., and a bunch of others. But I'm going to show you my 78 update, and she decided that I would like to have them. And she said her uncle was going to sell these and sent them to the Salvation Army, but she kept it for a long time, so now I have my own 78 collection. And first off, we're going to show you is the first one is going to be a Dorsey 78, and this is going to be for Home of the Good Guys and a bunch of others who are fans of big band music. And here it is. This is Jimmy Dorsey and his orchestra with Bob Elberly and Helen O'Connell. It's got all the bunch of great songs. Jimmy Dorsey is probably one of the best. I like Jimmy Dorsey, but between Tommy and Jimmy, I'm gonna go with Tommy Dorsey. I'm more of a fan of Tommy Dorsey than Jimmy Dorsey. Although Jimmy's really good. Jimmy's music is really decent for its time. This is a 1946 album. Here's the front, here's the spine, and here's the back. And here's all the songs it's got on here. It's got Brazil, Green Eyes, The Breeze and I, Maria Elena, Yours, Always in My Heart, At the Crossroads, and Amapolia. These are all the records in here, but fortunately there's other records in here too besides them. Here's New Shade of Blue, A New Shade of Blue, Flipside Jim, and here's more Decca records on here. Here is It the Truth What They Say About Dixie? And the flip side is Welcome Stranger. These are all the other bunch of compilations that were also in there. Yeah, these are all the other bunch of good stuff. And also at the end it's got some other records by Jimmy Dorsey. It's got All of Me, Body and Soul, and there's a bunch of them. And also, there's also two Disney films soundtracks, which were Saludos Amigos and The Three Caballeros, which they were both Disney. They were both first Disney package features. I don't have those albums yet, but hopefully I will get Saludos Amigos and The Caballeros on a 78 soon. But there you go. That was Jimmy Dorsey. Next we have Dick Condino. It's got all this stuff in here. Here's the front, here's the spine, and the back. It's pretty much the same. Yeah, cover's not in great shape, but here is Aria, and flip side. I gotta turn this record around. Snap. Hold on. The flip side on here is What Word is Sweeter Than Sweetheart? And here is Jeepers Creepers. Flip side is The Devil with the Devil. And here is Millenberg Joyce. Another one on there. Flip side is Dipper Mouth on there. Here's Boo Boo, which was under the Bluebird label. And the flip side on that is Halfway Down the Street, which is also by Larry Clinton's. Here's already one I already have in my collection, but I got it again because here's the Donkey Serenade. I also have this as part of a 12-inch 78. In fact, let me go find that just for a minute. I gotta show you what this is. Yes, this is a 12-inch. This is a 12-inch 78, which was under the Columbia label from probably from the early days or so. Can't quite remember what the heck this is, but it is under there. But here, all my 78s right now are kind of dug up side, so I'm not gonna find them right now, but alright. Oh, this is there is one in here, but I'm just gonna see where it is. Same size. Alright. Okay, here's the deal. I'm not going to look for them right now. I'll find it later, but I'm telling you, I do have a 12-inch 78 of the Donkey Serenade, and you want to know who this is by? Artie Shaw. And also, the flip side on this is The Heart Stood Still. This is another one of those records. Here is another Artie Shaw record. This is Back Bay Shuffle. This is under the RCA Victor label printed, and the flip side is Stardust, which was also a Benny Goodman song too, which I also have on my iTunes and my iPod. And there you go. Next up we got, guess what I got today? I got a bunch of new Glenn Miller 78s. I got a bunch of these new Glenn Miller 78s. Oh boy, I can't wait to play these until I get my record player fixed. Here they are. Here is So Many Times, which is also by Glenn Miller and his orchestra. And it was also done by Don DeVito and Jimmy Dorsey. And it's under the Bluebird label. And what's the flip side? The flip side of this is Out of Space, which I don't know why they couldn't call it Outer Space or something like that. It says Out of Space, and this is under the Bluebird label from probably 1940s or 30s or something. And here are more of them. Here's April Played the Fiddle, also by Glenn Miller and his orchestra. And what's the flip side, you may ask me? It is I haven't time to be a millionaire. And also, this is for Home of the Good Guys, Chris from Brooklyn. I know he has this 78. And this is the only Glenn Miller 78 he owns in his 78 collection for his Glenn Miller LP collection. Take a look at this. This is Sunrise Serenade. The flip side is his all-time favorite song by Glenn Miller, Moonlight Serenade. But you could tell it's a collector's issue. It's a reissue of the original pressing, which I know Chris from Brooklyn has this. He also has the same copy of Moonlight Serenade, but it's under the Bluebird label. It's pretty cool, and Moonlight Serenade is one of the best songs. Alright, we got more Glenn Miller 78s. Here we go. This is I'm Stepping Out with a Memory Night. This is also under the Bluebird label. Flip side is Devil May Care. Has nothing to do with the title of a Warner Brothers cartoon with Bugs Bunny and Tasmanian Devil, which was the first cartoon to feature Tasmanian Devil, which was called Devil May Care. This is Devil May Care. And it was also done by Johnny Burke and Harry Warren. Here's Spring Will Be So Sad. Flip side, Perfida. Here's it was written in the stars. Flip side, Johnson Rag. Here is The Little Man Who Wasn't There. Flip side, The Man with Mandolin. Here's The Sky Fell Down. And the flip side, here's the flip side. This is for Home with the Good Guys if he is watching this. And it also has Give a Little Whistle, which was from Walt Disney's motion picture Pinocchio. It was also done by Ned Washington and Lee Harland. And I also have the soundtrack of Pinocchio on vinyl, which is the 33 release. I know Terry T. 1976, aka Terrence Tucker, has the original copy of it from 1956. But my copy is a reissue from 1959 or 63. And here's The Woodpecker Song by Glenn Miller and his orchestra. Flip side, Let's All Sing Together. Here's Speaking of Heaven. The flip side is Bless You. Bless You. Alright. And we got more Glenn Miller 78 right over here. Alright. Has the original Capitol sleeve. Before we get any further, here's the original Capitol sleeve it's got over here. Yep. Here's what the Capitol label sleeve is. Yep, here it is. Alright, here's the 78s here that I've got to show you here. I got to show you what these are. Here's Low Gear. This was from a tribute to Glenn Miller, which was under the Rainbow Records present thing. All these 78 records are from tribute to Glenn Miller. And the flip side is Come On In. And here's Bazin Street Blues. Flip side, St. Louis Blues, which I also have that part of the Glenn Miller play selections from the Glenn Miller store and other hits. Here is Always. Flip side, Make Believe. The last one, I'm Getting a Sentimental Over You, which was also done by Tommy Dorsey. I believe that version is much better than the Glenn Miller version, but I don't know. I have not listened to the Glenn Miller version of I'm Getting Sentimental Over You. The flip side is Goodbye. And that's it with that. Now we got more Glenn Miller 78s. Right over here. Alright, we got plenty of time left. The next one is 8 to the Bar, which has the casing for it, but inside it has the Glenn Miller 78s. And here they are. It came with a lot of booklet stuff. Teach you how to play the notes and how to sing them. This is the Army thing. Here is a 78 we got here. Here is Pennsylvania 65000. I know Vinyl Records Never Die has the 45 of Pennsylvania 65000, which is pretty cool. Flip side is Stardust, another Stardust version of that. But Pennsylvania 65000 is a great, excellent song. Here is Pego on My Heart, and the flip side to that is Moonlight Bay. Here's Careless. Flip side, Indian Summer. Here's Anvil Chorus, Part 1. Flip side is, oh wait, I gotta take this out. Flip side to that is the part 2 of the Anvil course, which is also on there. Here's Faithful Forever. Yep, and the flip side to that is, I can't see the Bluebirds in the Moonlight. And there you go. That is my 78 update. We got more 78s along the way, which will be coming soon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.